Hey guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. If you're a barber that's looking to build a profitable personal brand through creating professional content so that you don't have to continuously pay a videographer thousands of pounds, then this video is for you. So let's jump right in. Okay, right, so I hope you enjoyed the intro there. Let's jump straight into the video. Just so we're not going to waste any more time in this video, let's get on the same page. So, just for starters, who is this video not for? Barbers that have zero experience with content creation. Unfortunately, this isn't a video for you if you've never created content or you're not in the space of creating content. Unfortunately, you need to have some sort of experience in how to create content. Secondly, it's not for the barbers who expect overnight success. When I say this, I mean don't expect to post a video and generate millions of views straight away, because sadly that just is not the case. You need to be expected to work hard, be taught and be willing to learn. Thirdly, barbers who aren't willing to learn and be pushed. So that goes on to my previous point. You need to be expected that I'm going to push you to where you need to get to so that you can be the best version of yourself. And finally, barbers who aren't already earning 15k a month. So unfortunately, if you're earning 15k a month, this video is not for you at all. So if that puts you in this category, then unfortunately this video isn't for you. You may as well just leave now. However, this video is for you if you're a barber that wants to learn how to showcase their work professionally. So if you want to learn the art of creating professional videos at home without a videographer, then this video is for you. So the second point, the barber who doesn't want to spend thousands on a videographer. That links with the first one with making professional content. If you're a barber that's looking to learn how to create professional content without having to pay a videographer thousands of pounds, then this video is for you. You would have heard that at the start of the video, this video is for you. Thirdly, the barber who wants to build a profitable personal brand. So if you want to sit there and learn how to monetize your personal brand, get a following, earn some money online, this video is for you. And finally, the barbers who is currently earning 3 to 5k a month. If you're already sitting at 3 to 5k a month, then this video is going to teach you how you can scale to 10 to 15 to 20,000 a month, all by building a profitable personal brand. So let's jump in. So, the dream goal. This is what you want to get out of this and where you want to be in the future and your dream state. So number one, build a profitable personal brand. What is a profitable personal brand? Cool, that's hard to say fast. Basically, it's a brand where you build online and you start to monetize and earn a following. Rather than just posting videos, generating views and not actually taking anything from the views, instead, we're going to do the exact same but earn money through your views. And then secondly, we'll become an authority with their niche. So you are going to become a go-to resource when people want to find information, say to create content, educate people in the barbering scene. You become that go-to resource and an authority within your niche. Third, what everyone wants to do, work less, charge more. By effectively building your personal brand, you can charge more for your haircuts, earn more, work less. It's as easy as that. The whole purpose of this is building a personal brand to scale your barbering business from where you are right now to where you want to be. And number four, turn your following into a paying audience. When I say this, it links to monetizing your personal brand. You're going to turn your followers into paying customers without them even realizing. This is going to be ways if you can sell either ebooks, lead magnets, digital products. You can monetize your brand without them even knowing it, without them even thinking that you're selling something to them. This is the art of building and monetizing your personal brand. And number five, content creation earns them more money than cutting hair. So in the long run, we want to be earning more money through our personal brand, through our online business, so that it allows you to have that time, location, freedom that everyone's after. And as you can see, our dream state here in our step-by-step, we want to build a profitable personal brand, become an authority, work less, charge more, turn following into a paying audience, and finally, financial freedom. Financial, location, freedom. That is our main goal. I think that's everyone's goal, if I'm not wrong. And that's the dream goal in a nutshell. If this aligns with your sort of goals, your passions, where you envision your business going, then me and you are on the same page. So next, let's go on to my story. We're going to jump back into the video and I'm going to explain a little bit about my story. Let me just talk to you a little bit about my story so you can get a little backlog of who I am, what I am, and what I want to achieve. I started in the hair industry at 15 years old. This is where I got my first job, and this is almost a decade ago. Crazy, I know I have a baby face, but yet I've been in the hair industry almost a decade. And this is where I started out, first cutting hair, not having a clue, but hey, I absolutely loved it and I wanted to jump in straight away. So, I did an apprenticeship there for 2 years, and then within the first 2 years, I managed to land a position at one of the most prestigious men's hair companies in the world, Menspire. And this is a real stepping stone for me in my career, because this allowed me to see what true hair cutting was, while understanding a deep level of technical hair cutting abilities. So, I worked at Menspire for 2 years. It was absolutely amazing, but lockdown happened and everyone's mindset changed as well as mine. So I thought, right, time to do this on your own. And that's when I left the safety net of my company. But with my clientele being so small, I had to figure out a way on how to get people in my chair. And this is when I discovered I needed to start creating content. So, like anything else, there's a starting point. I'd be lying to you if I could sit here and just say, it's as simple as just posting a video, generating millions of views, and then you're booked straight away. Sadly, that just is not the case. There was years where I was just creating content for content, not really understanding it, and in all honesty, the content was pretty rubbish. But like anything, you improve, you get better, and you start to build a deeper connection. And this is where I found a connection that I absolutely loved in content creation. It was allowed me to not only have a creative flair when cutting hair, but also show my creative side through content creation. It's in its name. So fast forward 5 years almost since I posted my first video, I've managed to generate over 100 million views on combined social media platforms, and that is rising month after month after month. I started seeing a progression in my content, and like anything, you start to see results, it pushes you further, you buy cameras, you do this and that. And then I started thinking, why are my videos doing so well? So I started breaking it down, understanding, right, this video does well, that video does well. Soon before you know it, I hit 10,000 followers, 20,000 followers, 30,000 followers, and now we're currently sitting at around 74, 75,000 followers. I think I recently just hit 75,000 followers. And I thought, God, I wish when I first started, someone could help me learn the process of creating professional content, because in this day and age, it's an absolute foundation. I believe that content is what's helped me bring in so many bookings. Content has allowed clients from hours away, the furthest I've had travel is about 2 hours, come and get a haircut. And they wouldn't be able to do that if I wasn't sitting there pushing myself out there and creating content. So it just shows the power of social media and where it can take your business to where you want it to be from where you are right now. Every person you look up to in the content space all started somewhere. So why not you just pick up the camera, pick up your phone and start creating content? Because I honestly believe if I didn't pick up this camera and start creating content, my business would not be as successful as what you think. Just so you can have a little bit of context and see where I work and the ability of social media and what it can bring, have a look at this. Just to prove you can do it from absolutely anywhere, I work out of a shed in my parents' garden, in the middle of absolutely nowhere. No fancy buildings, no footfall, so if I can do it, why can't you? So, as you've just seen that, let's go ahead and break down the systems that I'm using that's allowing me to generate consistent views of 3 million, 2.3 million, 4.7 million. And you might be thinking it's all just luck. But sadly the case, when you start consistently hitting these sort of numbers, it actually isn't luck, there's a little bit of method to the madness. So let's jump in. What I've found is all these old sort of methods of joining community is great, but you become a part of an oversold community, a part of batch broadcast messages, so that it's all just sieved through this filter of just messages out to a broadcast channel. Everyone is in the same boat and they're gatekeeping what they really want you to know anyway. Ultimately, it's draining, it leads to lack of inspiration and a lack of results. However, with the TBH Way, Tim Bray's hair, it's a fully tailored approach. So, what's going to happen is I think it's so important, not everyone is the same, so you can't sit there and just send a broadcast message, or you get in the community and if you've been in the community for a year, you then actually get taught and mentored by someone that's in the same position as you, whereas you join that mentorship because you want to be taught by the person who's leading it. For example, the host of the community, in hindsight, isn't actually tailoring his connection with you and actually mentoring you. Instead, he's just putting a broadcast message out and then his mentors under him are now teaching you. It's like such a trifecta method or a pyramid scheme. So instead, I want you to have a fully tailored actionable approach, one-on-one weekly calls. And I think the one-on-one weekly calls is so important because this allows you to really hone in on areas which you think you need to improve on and just kind of have that one-on-one connection. And see, realistic timeframes. Let's be real, you're not going to sit there and I can say, right, you're going to post and by the end of the month you're going to start generating millions of views. That just isn't the case. I could say that to sell this to you and get you in, but as soon as you have realistic timeframes, then you say, right, within the next 90 days, we're going to get you your first brand deal and then increase your bookings by 20%. That's approachable and that's realistic. I want you to actually have direct contact with me. I think that's so important when we build that one-on-one connection. Weekly, you call me, we talk, and I understand what you need to improve on and what you feel like you're unsure on and where you want to get better, rather than joining these oversold communities and just getting batch broadcast messages. So the TBH way, here we go. Rather than creating overcrowded communities focused on low ticket offers, the emphasis should be on establishing one-on-one connection with the client or mentors. This approach fosters a genuine bond between you and your client or mentor, enhancing the overall experience or growth. So, what my way is and what my scheme is, the new way, which is the new and improved way, it builds trust organically. So, foster true connections and cultivate authentic trust. So people, they always want to know you, understand you, and believe you. This is so important. How many times have you seen it? Someone's trying to sell you something when in hindsight, they actually don't really know what they're selling you. They're just following a script. Number 2, it generates lead magnets. You need to have organic connections that generates real life leads. So none of this cold messaging DMs trying to get people to buy into you, this and that. Instead, they will reach out to you, whether that's booking appointments. If you want to, by the end of this course, I want you to build a personal brand and a digital product. So rather than you sending cold DMs, you will actually generate organic leads from your content creation. It reduces creators' block. Understanding how to discover inspiration is essential for an endless flow of content ideas. How many times have I had it where I sit there and I'm just looking at my screen going, fuck, I have no idea what I need to create, how I'm going to do this. So I really honed it in and I thought, okay, how can I do this? And I figured out a way on how you can actually generate content ideas for inspiration all from your analytics, from content you're already making. So it's just an endless cycle of continuous content. So it eliminates days of stagnant ideas, discover inspiration in your own content, and create content you want to create. So when I say create content you want to create, I am focusing more on establishing barbers. I specialize in helping barbers and take their business from where they are right now to where they want to be. But I want you to be able to create content that you want to create. So for me, I love creating barber content. That's my bread and butter. But I also enjoy creating lifestyle content because it's something different. It's getting me across and it's getting me out in my personal brand. So I want to be able to create content that I want to create, and I want to do the same for you. And I don't want you to be relying on paid ads. Teaching you the fundamentals of organic content can save you thousands. So it's so important to lay the groundwork of organic editing. So rather than just editing and you think, okay, one video does well, but understanding why that video does well and just having an editing background and understanding the core fundamentals of editing so you can ultimately create whatever video you want to create, whether that be a gym video, a haircut video, a day in a life video. You have the fundamentals of creating organic editing. Attract millions of organic views. So I've generated over 100 million views on combined social media platforms and I've never spent one penny on paid ads. So I know how this works. Avoid depending on paid ads to make your content stand out. So if you're there, by the end of this program, we're going to have you with this digital product and you can sit there and generate leads with organic content rather than having to pay money out of the bank and relying on paid ads to get people to see your content. So this is actually a unique system. This is a system that, let me move that away. So this is actually a unique system that I've been playing around with. So we attempted with different content strategies and content styles just until I can find the right one. I like to use the 80% rule where I do 80% barbering content and 20% lifestyle, just because I know that the barbering content is my bread and butter, and then I want to implement lifestyle content and I just do that 20%. So we like to mess around with content styles to start seeing what works well for you, and then we experiment with those content styles and start to see true results. So 3.5 million views, new followers 3,600, fully booked day in, day out, I am fully booked. So it's actually not just creating viral content like these, it's actually converting these views into clients and getting your bookings. So you're actually seeing the fruits of your labor. So rather than just creating content and you go, oh wow, I've got 100,000 views in this video, but actually creating those 100,000 views into clients sitting in a chair is the main thing. And then finally, the TBH way, we've clarified it. So I've put everything, the knowledge that I know over the past 5 years of creating content into an easily systematic approach. So let's dive in and go a little bit deeper on how to understand it. So the TBH way, these are the core ideations of what I wanted to do when I was creating my course. So I wanted to save thousands by not having to pay a videographer, because it's all well and good, it's so nice getting professional video and you get it done and you think, oh wow, I've got 30 seconds, one reel worth, and it's just cost me 300 quid. As well as learn the fundamentals of content creation. So actually understanding hooks, visual hooks, everything that goes into content creation and understanding why your videos go viral is so important. And then I wanted to learn how to turn my content into views, clicks to clients. I wanted to attract more clients to your chair. And this is actually understanding how to leverage captions and CTAs and stuff like that to generate people to book in. I get 5, 10, 15 messages a day asking, whereabouts are you from? Where do you work? Can I book in? And it's so important that we actually convert these views into customers. Otherwise, you're just generating views for nothing. And then finally, transform insights into revenue. So what I wanted to do is figure out a way on how to monetize my personal brand, which I'm doing currently. And I want to give that to you guys in a systematic approach that's so easy to follow that anyone can do it. So the TBH way, the full step-by-step breakdown. Here we go. This 9-step framework over here, this 9-step framework allows you to easily navigate your way from content newbie to fully fledged monetized content creator. It will elevate your barbering business from its current state to the level you aspire to reach. So what I wanted to do is take you from not knowing how to create content or having a very basic understanding and actually turning into a fully fledged monetized content creator. So the first stage is foundation. That's going to be filming, which is one of the most important stages. That's why it's at the bottom. It's the biggest foundation. And then we move on to momentum, and that is all things reels. So whether that's cover photos, captions, analytics, insights, you name it, it's just everything within the actual app and understanding how to create content. And then finally, in finalization, we go into scale. And this is where I'm going to teach you how to build this 90-day roadmap for yourself so you can start bringing it into monetization. What I wanted this whole course, the outcome for you lot to have from this course, is to become a go-to resource for information, unleash your creative potential, and make sure that it's simple and actionable steps to follow. Let's just talk a tiny little bit more about the TBH way, and then we're going to go jump in to breaking down this 90-day roadmap for you. So, why would you choose the TBH way over the other methods? The other methods, like I said, you're just joining community, becoming in a batch broadcast messages, and it's not tailored to you. Whereas I want you to have a one-on-one connection with me, so you feel like it's all tailored, because I don't want you to just have a one-shoe-fits-all approach. So, you won't be lost in amongst hundreds of others in the community, receiving diluted information. Instead, you get direct one-on-one contact that allows you to focus on specific areas you need to improve. This is incredibly beneficial because it eliminates the one-size-fits-all approach. I really hate that you just join a community, someone sends in a tutorial. What happens if you don't understand it and then you just get the next one and you start falling behind? Whereas this one-on-one approach, in the call you can say, right, Tim, I really don't get this part of the fundamental stage. Can you explain a little further? 100%. Whereas, okay, I'm working through this a bit quicker. Can we go on to the next stage? It's very tailored person to person. So let's talk about setup. This is the first module, and it's probably the basic one, but I think it's such an important thing that people need to do. So when I thought about creating setup, I thought, right, we need to learn account setup and equipment list. So within the account setup, we'll go through professional accounts, bio optimization and editing software. This is so important because this is really the foundation of the start of your content creation career. So one, professional account looked over, but it's so important, allows you to add a book now button, things like that. And then bio optimization is actually understanding the best way to use your bio properly and get the most out of it. And then using an editing software, CapCut, which I find to be the easiest. Whereas if you feel like you want to do a little bit more in depth, like I use DaVinci Resolve, but I wanted to use CapCut because it's easy for everyone to follow and it's free. And then we go on to the equipment list. So whether that be a tripod, ring light, softbox, DSLR tripod, all these things, camera bodies, camera lenses, etc. It's the essential equipment list that you need to start your content creation career. So, client roadmap. What I really want to do is take you from where you are right now to where you want to be. So when you start seeing your creators that you get inspiration from who are getting viral content day in, day out, it's easy when you have a structured approach. So I want you to get to that stage. Your 90-day roadmap is your content production to constant virality, full-time content creator, generating 10,000 a month, appeal to your target audience, and having that time, location, freedom. So let's jump in and start breaking down these modules. So we spoke about module 1, setup. Now let's head in to module 2, filming. So let's talk about filming. Within this module, we're going to discuss about angles. So whether you're having a handheld camera, whether you're using a tripod in your phone, or you're using a wall mount, it covers whatever you need. So you don't just need to have a camera, you can start creating content on your phone. However, if you do want to start using a camera, there's other modules in there that are already included that tell you about the f-stop, aperture, ISO, all of those sort of things, the exposure triangle, and break everything down. And then we go into lighting, and the amount of times I see videos who haven't set up their lights properly and it just doesn't look proper. It just looks tacky. However, we go in to explain that when you actually want to light up, here's a free gem for you. When you want to light up, you don't want to have your camera facing into the light. You want to have your light behind the camera onto the subject. Otherwise it blows out your camera. So as you can see here, this is actually my lighting setup. The client would be sitting here. I have a box light, ring light, another ring light, and another square light. I couldn't tell you what that's called. And this is my favorite lighting setup because it actually allows you to have light coming in on all directions. And then I have my camera here on that tripod right there that's movable. And as you can see, rather than having a tripod, sorry, that's actually a wall mount. rather than having a tripod, it allows me to have free with my feet, because sometimes I get really irritated with it all being around my feet, but I did it for years and it's easily done. But we cover everything, whether you want to use a tripod, handheld, we talk about camera movements, it's absolutely everything. And then within the final stage of filming, we talk about marketing yourself, which is so important, because it's all well and good generating good haircuts, but that's not going to be so easy when you want to sit there and sell an ebook or a product. You want to get yourself, your personality across your content. So we dive in on how you can actually market yourself within your content. So that is an absolutely crucial step. And then going on to the final part of the foundation stage, we go into post-production, and I've made this a bit bigger because I actually feel like this is probably the most important module of all of them, because this really ties everything together and then everything loops back to this. So actually your foundation stage is your first stage, but everything kind of loops back around to that stage. So within post-production we have editing, and we break it down on how you can actually edit all the steps you need to follow. So whether that be trim, delete, paste, just basically a breakdown of how you can start creating videos. And then once you got that, we go into content styles. So this is where you can really start to figure out your content style, whether that be using visual hooks, process videos, consultations. This is where you can figure out how you want to create videos, who you want to create videos for, and why you want to create them. So you can start appealing to a target audience. And then once we have those two things in full swing, we head over into color grading. And this is the final step of creating your content that looks professional, because you cannot just rely on content or clips that come straight out of your camera to be perfect. You have to color grade them to get that final touch. We actually talk about how you can properly expose an image rather than underexposing or overexposing. And then we go on to brightness, and we break down everything that goes into color grading, contrast. And that is how you get that professional edge on this video. So once you've done that post-production, we have all of those together. And what I love after the third module, this is when we start to implement the one-on-one editing sessions at the end of our call. So at the end of our call, we talk about what you need, and you're going to bring your clips along, and we're going to edit a video together. I'll share my screen and I'll edit it, and I'll break down your edits, and I'll say where you need to improve, and then I'll edit one with you. So you actually get real-time learning on how I think and how I have my creative flair when creating videos. Let's move on to module 4, where we have the 3 C's: CTAs, captions, cover photos. And why are these so important? So with mastering reels, CTAs, you want to direct your audience to a certain place, whether that be to book now, buy a product, etc. You need those CTAs to actually direct your audience in a certain direction. And then we're going to use captions, and captions is a great place to add a CTA. So for example, in your caption, you could say, if you never get this fresh feeling, make sure you book now using that booking link in my bio. Just adding those sort of captions, it really ties together your whole post. And then the final C, cover photos. This for me is the most important one. This really cements everything when you're creating your content. You've got to imagine this is the first thing that people see. So if you don't have a strong cover photo, how can you expect to have great engagement? Look, it's eye-catching. So whether I use myself, final videos, etc., and making sure that the background's clean, everything's clean, we go into how to capture the perfect cover photo and how to generate millions of views just by creating cover photos. The difference a cover photo makes is absolutely crazy. So this should be highlighted in red. This is the most important thing when actually creating reels, is having that cover photo, because it's the first thing that people see. Then number 5, we go into engagement. So we're going to understand and how to build your own content strategy. So when we say content strategy, I remember I heard that and I was like, content strategy, what does that mean? It's really simple. It's just basically having a calendar for when you're going to post, what you're going to post, so that you actually, each post is targeted to a certain person. So whether on a Monday you want to post your transformations, on a Tuesday you're going to post client testimonials or consultation videos, and then Friday you're going to post a process video, and Sunday you're going to post best haircuts of the week carousels. It's just having that systematic approach so that you are staying consistent when posting. And then we talk about connection strategy, which I developed over the last 6 months, which essentially breaks down on how you can actually connect with your followers when they comment, send you DMs, so you keep building those connections so that it will continuously grow and entice them to comment more. And then finally, you've got to position yourself as an authority, which is really tough, but it's just changing your verbiage and making yourself that go-to resource. Say if you put a story up going, who wants to learn from me? People bite your hand off to get involved. It's so important. As you can see, the engagement, we can definitely get some new followers. 7.1 million views, interactions, 86k, new followers, 3,600, and that is just within 55 posts. So we know what we're doing. I've done it for years. There's a systematic approach, like I said. You just have to know what you're doing rather than just posting for posting. It's understanding why you're posting and who you're posting it for. And then at the end of the momentum stage, we head over into analytics. And this is where we're going to understand how analytics work, understanding what metrics we actually need to focus on, reach, follower count, impressions, those sort of things, why we actually need to understand them. Because it's all well important, like I say, posting content, but actually understanding, right, this post did well, got more than this post, why? And this is how, well, that leads me on to how we're going to use it to measure growth. So this is where you set goals, whether you want to start doing content that produces you followers, or you want to start doing content that builds connection and a cold audience. It's about understanding using these analytics can change the direction in which you want your content to go, whether you want to do content that isn't so clickbait, you might not get as many views, but it will generate you more of a cold audience. So it just depends where you want to go, and then how to use it for inspiration. This is where we're going to look in your analytics and say, okay, your process video got 500,000 views, but your consultation video only got 10,000. So we understand that your process videos do more views. However, your consultation videos got more comments and more saves. So if you want to up your insights and get more views and more visibility to your profile, we're going to start pushing process videos twice a week, and then we're going to do consultation videos once a week to start building those cold audiences, just so you can change your content all around your analytics. And this is how you're going to generate a consistent flow of content creation, just looking through what does well and what your people want. There's a systematic approach that you need to follow to start generating views like this every single time. And then finally, on the finalization stage, let's head over into module 7, clicks to clients. This is where we're going to convert views into clients we're going to use our CTAs, which we're learning in the previous module, and we're going to talk about how we can implement them to actually convert views into clients. So whether that be adding a CTA at the end of your videos, having captions, enticing people to book now, saying, get your appointment booked if you're in the Dallas area, or get your appointment booked if you're in London, etc. Using messaging formats, this is so important. I think I really focus, when I get new clients in my chair, building that relationship up, where I'm going to, rather than just if they say, can I book an appointment, I'll go, yeah, when do you want? Start building a relationship, asking, okay, for sure, how comes you want to change a barber? Where did you find me? This and that. It's almost like having a consultation that you would have in the chair prior, just through messages. Starts building that connection and showing that you actually care. And then finally, we're going to talk about how you can effectively raise your prices, because once you start getting these influx of new customers through your views and stuff like that, you're going to need to start raising your prices, and knowing how to do it effectively is absolutely crucial, because you don't want to get stuck in that hole of just charging the same prices. And it's so important to establish yourself as that high-end barber. So whether that be using testimonial highlights, so on your page, what I like to do is add a testimonial highlight where I just get messages from clients saying, this is the best haircut I've ever had, add that to the testimonials highlight, and it just gives you social proof. And then create exclusivity. So what I like to do is put stories up, even if I'm lying, I will say, that's me fully booked for the end of the month. Next story I go, haha, joking, but make sure to get yourself booked in to avoid that feeling. That just creates exclusivity and makes people think, shit, I need to get booked in. It's just all about almost mind games with your followers. And then number 8, brand deals. So this is what we're going to talk about, how to position yourself to land brand deals, because it's actually all well and good, you're going to start generating followers, you're going to get brands looking at you, but it's how to position yourself and create content so that brands actually want to reach out to you. So whether that be clipper brands, hair care brands, brand deals where you're talking about hair loss, these things, you just have to discover which direction you want to go. And then we're also going to talk about effectively outreach and get in contact with a brand rather than looking like an amateur. So I've created a messaging format and a script that you can follow when you actually want to outreach the brands. And then once these brand deals come in, I spoke about and explained how you need to work with brands so that it doesn't let brands push you over, and you both get the best deal out of it, and ultimately you're getting the most money for your worth. So what I think is another little gem that you need to understand if you want to work out to brands, if you're someone that's already in the space of becoming and getting brand deals, you need to create a media kit. So you need to space it out and create profile activity. So this shows here what countries are doing so well for me, what age demographic, etc. And then what sort of gender. This is what brands want to know, because if you're trying to sell a hair product that's solely for men, they're not going to want to sell to you. You're not going to be the perfect target for them. If your percentage of gender is 98% women and 2% men, they're not going to want to do that, because they're not going to get the most out of you. And then another thing, you need to show that you actually are getting good views. 3.4 million views, 85,000 interactions, 5,000 likes, 3,000 likes, 1,700 likes, 1,200 likes. It's just showing you that you actually are generating good views. As you can see here, look, 51,000 likes. It's just showing that you have active followers and people are going to buy from you, because ultimately brands don't want to invest in something that they're not going to get much out of. And then finally, we're going to head over to the finalization stage and we're going to create a digital product like the one I've just spoke through. And it's something like this where you're going to create your 3x3x3. And this is whether that be a one-on-one mentorship or an online course or a downloadable guide or an ebook. This is where you come to life and you start discovering what you want to teach the world. We're going to use the Ikigai method to discover how we're going to create that. But let me just go through and tell you how this all ties together and how I actually structured this 90-day roadmap so that you understand why it's in a certain way. Let's go ahead and jump into that. Okay, so right, here we have our whole 90-day roadmap. Let me just circle that. Let me explain to you why I did it in a certain formula. So why foundations is in foundations, momentum is in momentum, and finalization. So in a nutshell, foundation is your core. This is where you're going to learn how to create your content. So once we figure out how to create our content, we then need to figure out how we can master our content for our target audience. So this is why we go in from here to here, because we've got a basic understanding of content, and now we're starting to see where and what's doing well, what our target audience wants is. Now we're going to take inspiration from these engagements, from the analytics, and start churning out more content to bring in more impressions, more followers, etc. So this leads to this, and you actually start to really find your content, find your path and where you want to go. And then once this starts to happen, you're going to start to see results. Now we need to learn how to monetize this. So that goes over there. And this all sort of relates, because you now have your basic understanding of content creation, but how are we going to turn that from just generating views in this section to actually turning your views into monetization, clicks to clients, brand deals, creating digital product? It sounds confusing, but this is why we go back to here and we change our content. So we have our understanding of content on how to actually create it. Now we need to change what content we're creating. Rather than creating satisfying hair videos that generates views, we now have to start creating content that actually turns the views into clients and understanding how we're going to do that. So by implementing hooks, by using things like ManyChat, all these sort of things and automations to start turning potential customers into actual buyers, rather than just having a flood of thousands of new followers, actually turning into a cold audience. So it's so important to understand the core foundations of content creation. So then once you do this, we're going to figure out how to create Instagram Reels, and this is where we now have the finalization and proper understanding of creating content, so that allows us to start creating content to actually start monetizing. And that is why we did it in this format, from foundations, momentum to finalization. And this is our core. This is our most important stage, because once you can really create full content, you can kind of take it in any path you want, whether you want to change complete career and start doing a full-time content creator and not cut hair anymore. So we want to really emphasize the foundations, and this is the most important one here. So I hope you like my drawing, but that is how I structured this approach to get you from your 90-day roadmap to mastering content production and constant virality. So let's jump back into the video. Okay, so right, if you actually followed this video along, I've given you enough information here to practically do this all on your own, so you can start monetizing your personal brand and build that profitable personal brand of your own. I've given you my system on exactly how I create viral content like this, followed by why the old way doesn't work and why the TBH way is a new and improved direction. And then I've explained to you the core foundations of what you need to do to actually generate and monetize personal brand, breaking everything down by using a unique system, and then using the TBH way, the 4 foundational pillars of saving yourself thousands by not having to pay a videographer, and then ultimately monetizing your brand through professional looking content. And then we've broken down the 90-day roadmap. I've taken you through this whole client journey roadmap. And if you want to be that client and fast track your way to constant virality and hit that 10K a month figure, and then what I need you to do is go down to the description box down below and click that link and get yourself booked in for a call where we can personally plan your 90-day roadmap together. But for now, I'll see you soon. Peace.